Kate.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it's an honour to follow the member for Washington and Sunderland West, and I thank the Honourable Lady for Richmond for securing this very important debate. And I want to start by paying tribute to my right honourable friend, the member for Northamptonshire South, whose leadership on this issue and perseverance over many, many years has led to this incredible result, this investment in the first 1,001 days, that in such a difficult economic time is a real achievement to secure. And it's been a real privilege to be part of the Early Years Healthy Development Review with a number of others sitting in the House. It's been a great learning experience as a new MP, but also a real honour to be part of an issue that I'm also very passionate about. There's no more important period in anyone's life than the first 1,001 days. And we've heard from many honourable members that this is the time when the foundations are set for childhood and the rest of life. Building blocks in terms of patterns of behaviour, how we communicate, our health, are all connected and made during that time. And lockdowns have been so damaging for the youngest in society. In all those areas we've heard about lack of access to professional services, lack of access to community support, even family support, that has really harmed the very youngest in our society. So this £500 million funding comes at a really crucial time. I've got to say it's time to build back better for babies, and so there's no better investments to be made, I don't think, for the government than in this first 1,001 days. And babies who go through healthy development have a far greater chance of becoming healthy, happy, fulfilled adults who are going to contribute to the economy. And as the Honourable Lady for Washington and Sunderland West said, they're also much less likely to be a burden on the taxpayer. One of the great paradoxes of human society is that parenting is so important, but it can't be left to the experts. And around half of us were brought up by people who've never done it before. And the truth is that having babies is really hard. And I've had 3, I should know. And it's amazing to me that something so natural, so desirable and so fulfilling is also so incredibly challenging. And it doesn't always start well. My first child was a full 2 weeks late. I just escaped induction. He came into the world following a 32-hour labour. So we started parenting after 2 full nights without any sleep at all, something that I didn't even manage to achieve as a student. And I'd never even held a newborn, let alone been responsible for its survival. And when you add up the challenges of breastfeeding, living on no sleep, trying to identify when nappies need changing, eating with one hand, when a meal consists of a dry piece of toast that you can put in and out of the toaster without even opening the fridge, it's really tough. And I remember vividly one day my newborn was crying, my husband was out, I desperately needed a shower, we were going out, he wouldn't stop crying, so I still needed a shower. I put him in the car seat, strapped him in, stuck him on the floor of the bathroom, got in the shower and started crying myself. And that is just what it's like as a parent of a newborn. And when you then throw in mastitis, the challenges of even getting to the town hall to register your baby's birth, that's before you get to weaning, potty training, more sleepless nights. What kept me going, what kept us going, was family, friends and baby groups. And every day of the week, I found a different group to go to. And I developed a routine that made sure I see adults every single day of the week, other people going through the same experiences. And I was really fortunate to develop a very strong group of friends. We learned to be mums together. And because of that support, because of that interaction, because of that camaraderie, I can honestly say that it was a joy and a privilege to care for a baby, to see them learn and develop. And despite the sheer exhaustion, there was nothing more worthwhile. And my husband and I had all the support we could ask for. I had a full year of maternity leave. We had the financial security and the practical support to enjoy the first 1,001 days. But it was still really hard. And even the Chancellor, I think, has made a remark in a newspaper article recently, and we know that he's not short of a bob or two, that even they found it incredibly challenging. It is tough, whatever your circumstances. And I'd like to say that I was a pro by the time the 3rd child came around, but I'm afraid the challenges were just threefold. But the truth is, we're not supposed to care for babies alone. It takes a village to raise a child. And every first-time parent might be a novice, but the truth is there are millions of other people out there who've done it before and can help. But the sad fact is that so many parents don't have the support that I was so fortunate to have. And if just one area of your life is fragile, relationships, mental or physical health, geographical isolation, poverty, as the Honourable member said, caring for a baby can go from challenging to impossible. And for many, there's a cycle of generational abuse and neglect that's almost impossible to break on your own. And I think we've also heard from the previous speaker that the world has changed. A couple of generations ago, women didn't work outside the home, definitely work inside the home. There was a whole network of mums and grandmas and aunties who were on hand to help, and our social fabric was much richer. Now, nobody wants to return to the 1950s, and we've made incredible progress in so many areas. And we mustn't deny that, and we must celebrate it. But we do need to intervene to rebirth that social and relational support that is so crucial in equipping families to thrive in the early years. And that's why family hubs are so important, and why I'm so delighted that the budget has included £82 million to develop the network further across the countries. And family hubs should provide that one-stop shop for parents, not only making it easier to access professional support and advice from midwives and health visitors and other professionals, but also integrating with local community groups to build friendships and support network, to bring the whole community together, to provide that village to help raise the child that every parent so desperately needs and so many parents don't have access to. For all sorts of reasons. And it also can be a place where intervention can happen early, so for families with particular issues, whatever they may be, they can be helped before the problem gets out of hand and leads to damaging consequences for both the baby and the parents. Because as a first-time parent, how are you supposed to know how to deal with colic, how to deal with your baby not putting on weight, or conflicts with a partner that are exacerbated by a lack of sleep? We don't know this stuff without asking other people. And that's why family hubs should be available for everyone. Every parent needs support, and a great way to do this is through the family hubs. And I really support the idea of allowing birth registrations at family hubs. I think if you have to go there for a statutory duty, you've put your foot through the door, you've seen what's available, you've made that first contact, you've hopefully built some relationships with people in the community, and it's all that much easier to get support in future. So going to your local family hub should be as everyday an event as going to your GP surgery and no stigma attached. And of course, the Start for Life offer is all about babies. But if we want to use the language of the market, the parents and carers are the clients. So the whole offer is actually aimed at parents, at supporting and equipping parents and carers. And I'm really delighted that we are recognising parenting as the most valuable contribution that anyone can make to society. And so I'm also pleased that there's £50 million for parenting skills as part of the offer. And on parenting, just to finish, I want to speak briefly about motherhood. It's not something that we speak of about much. It's brilliant that women are much more valued in every sense outside of the home than we used to be. We're valued in the workplace, we have full equality under the law, those things should be celebrated. But I sometimes wonder if we are too much valued through the lens of a traditional male role model. And the hugely important work that many women do, looking after children, building community through the home, are massively undervalued, sometimes looked down on, and talked about in the language of oppression. And I don't deny that for many women that is the case, but it is also the case that many women are fulfilled in that role and choose that role in the very early part, the first 1,001 days of their child's life. And there are good biological reasons why women desire to do that, and I know I certainly did. And even the DfE's own stats say that mothers of young children would prefer to work less. But we in society have made it almost impossible for many women, parents, but often women, to choose to focus on their children in those early years. And our ever-increasing drive to get everyone into the workplace, a tax system, house prices that make it impossible for the majority of families to survive on one income, make it impossible for so many families to choose to take that time out from work, that crucial time out from work, in the first 2 years of a child's life. And we also have a system that expects single mothers to be able to be the provider and the caregiver. And I think that places so many in an impossible situation that is difficult for them and difficult for the children. So I want to conclude by saying that children are not an economic inconvenience. They are our best hope for the future, and they're deserving of every investment and support that we can give them. So the Start for Life offer is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to refocus our priorities, to put babies at the centre of policy making and give every child the opportunity they need to grow and flourish.